So I'm just doing hopefully a short video here about the New Age and Christianity. My question, of course, is just why are Christians so afraid of the term the New Age, New Ages, New Age Christianity, things like that? I think it comes from first not understanding the witchcraft in the Bible. So they think about sorcery and witchcraft and the tarot as that sort of thing. However, of course, I did a video about this, which I will link to in the description box below. And the high priests wore crystals. So there's nothing against crystals in the Bible. They are, pro-crystal. And they threw lots and they divined with the various gemstones that they could use. I forget the title, Urim and Thummim or something like that. Anyway, it's in the video that I mentioned. So they actually used a lot of the same things, and the prophets were the people that we call today like mediums or tarot readers or things like that, mystics. I mean, that's pretty much what the prophets were doing. They were divining what God wanted. And so I describe my differences. Why is one acceptable and not acceptable in the Bible? And I think it has to do with the blood. Taking the blood from animals or people in order to divine would be not of God, obviously. Sorcery also, of course, is related to pharmakia in the Bible. That's the word they use, and that's related to pharmaceuticals. So, there's that. A lot of the New Age people actually are promoting the opposite of that. So I don't see why Christians would be against that. Another thing that I was thinking about, which is kind of why I wanted to do the video, was the ages. So in Revelation, it talks about, the lake of fire and going for forever and ever in a lot of translations. However, the words forever and ever are from aeon or aeonion. It means an age, like an eon, same deal there. So it's actually going for an age and an age. And we could say that an age in the Bible was 1,000 years. Satan, the adversary, was supposed to be tied up for 1,000 years. And if it was 1,000 years and 1,000 years, you've got 2,000 years in the lake of fire. And so I've also got an article that I wrote, and I think I might have done a video about it, but the article will be linked below, where I talk about how we could be in the lake of fire right now, currently. It's a time of purification. So in the Bible, they talk about purifying metal, purifying people as they purified metal, which means you turn up the heat. And the impurities come apart from the pure gold or pure silver or whatever, but we're supposed to be tried like gold in the fire. And the impurities, the sin, is supposed to come out of us. So when times get tough, when the heat is turned up, we find our sin easier. It becomes easier to know who's sinning, who's not, yourself, in yourself too. And you can stop, you can... a lot of people, when they are in trouble, like in the tribulation, like a time of tribulation, they would cry out to God to save them. And of course, that requires repentance. So you found out you were doing something wrong, now you're repenting, and now you're gonna go forward and be a new person. You're getting rid of the sin, you're dropping the sin. And this is how God is purifying us through the fires and of tribulations, things like that. Anything in your life. I'm not talking about a specific time period, but it could be that we are in the lake of fire and this is the time of purification. And since the lake of fire would go for an age and an age, the new age would be after the lake of fire, where people have been purified. And Satan, would have not, death would have died, that sort of thing. The sin would have died, and, the people who should be in charge would be in charge. But the thing is, the people who should be in charge are not in charge because they're sinning. They have to be purified. That's what the whole purification process is for. Because you can't put people in charge to lead things if they are impure. Otherwise, you end up in the same situation in which we find ourselves. So I think of the New Age as the people who are, you know, against pharmaceuticals in many ways. They are pro-love and anti-sin. Law of attraction, as I've discussed before, gets people to stop sinning because of the golden rule. If you treat others as you would wish to be treated, then the world will treat you that way back. Although there are times like Job where you sort of just have to take things on faith that everything is going to be working out for the better in the long run, even when things are falling apart in the short run. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like a tower event. God is showing you where you've had idols, like if you put all your faith in a job or put all your faith in the system, the schooling system or something, and you find out, wow, I can't trust that. That tower will just be destroyed. And now you see where you should have been putting your trust in the first place. I also did a video about foundational beliefs, which sort of relates to that if you want to see that. So yeah, I think about the New Age as what's coming in the future, the people who are promoting peace, love, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and looking into holistic health. And so I don't see anything wrong with the New Age. And I guess people just have a misunderstanding, especially since they think that the lake of fire is going forever and ever or something. It's going for an age and an age. And this is what changing the text in the Bible is so important, and that it is really screws up people's understanding of how things are supposed to work and play out. Also, I'm not suggesting, obviously, that the tribulation is happening right now, in that I'm suggesting if this is part of the age and an age before the New Age, then it had to have happened, obviously, when the disciples were there. It says in the Bible that those who pierced him would see him coming again on the clouds of glory, something like that. Well, they're dead. So either it happened back then and they saw him, or it wasn't going to happen. It didn't happen. So, that's the preterist view. And David Hanotsuri has a channel. He's doing videos on that right now. But also, there's a video playlist called The Antichrist for Dummies, which you can find on YouTube. It's a lot longer. And you can just look into the books and, study for yourself if you want to look into the preterist view of things. But I think it makes a lot more sense because they kept telling people, hey, it's going to happen. And it happened. I mean, there's, documents that talk about the things happening back then. So that makes the most sense. But could it be that the age and an age are happening currently, and then after those like maybe 2,000 years, but not dating it? And if you had 2,000 years after Christ, then how old was Christ? And you've got a question of that too. A lot of people think he was 30, but there's also a text in the Bible that says he was not quite 50, which would mean 49. And 49 is a very important number in the Bible because of, the Festival of Weeks, where there's like 7 days of weeks. And then the 50th, I think, is like a Jubilee. And that's why we have Pentecost. It's the day, there's 50 days. And so the 49 means a lot in the Bible as far as, 7 times 7, where you've got 7 weeks of 7 days. And so I'm not entirely sure how old Christ was. If you want to add 2,000 years to his age, we have conflicting stories about how long he even preached. I think there's synoptics might be like 1 year versus the book of John, which kind of seems like it's 3 years. I might have those backwards, and I'm not entirely sure. It's been a long time since I studied that. But there are differences there for why people believe he, practiced for how long and things like that. So I'm not trying to date anything because I don't really think we could know that. And we can't know for certain that 1,000 years equals an age either. But I just thought it was interesting that, Christians are so against the New Age, but Christ is supposed to bring in, the new age after the age and age of the lake of fire. And it could be age of ages. We don't have a plural or not plural on that too. So I'm not trying to say I know exactly how long it's going to be. And and I mean, I don't know that I can trust Revelation either, but it seems like if it did play out in the past, then it's kind of trustworthy. But of course, just one verse changed in the Bible can change a lot. It depends on where it is, but yeah. So anyway, I hope this sort of was interesting to you. I find it interesting that Christians are so against the New Age when it talks about the age and the age, and then of course we're going to move into a new age. It just makes sense. But yeah, so check out my other videos about witchcraft in the Bible, and I think it was Daniel was described as a magician too. So the Bible is pro and con, the sort of things that people think what a magician or a witch is. So I tried to figure out what is the difference, and I think it has to do with the blood and sort of intentions behind things. I think that was the best. But if you've got different thoughts, feel free to leave a comment below. And thank you for watching. I hope you found it interesting, and have a great day.